The inquiry question that has been investigated over the past 8 weeks was, what differences does the 3 R's make to the amount of waste being thrown away? Throughout this investigation, the main emphasis was on the 3 R's, reduce, reuse, recycle. We need to ensure people are even more aware of what can and cannot be recycled and understand what their local council offers to the community in regard to curbside recycling programs. Communities need to utilise recycling shops such as the Salvation Army, Vinnies and Savers more and reuse clothes, electrical products and furniture. Reducing, reusing and recycling will help the environment and could effectively save it. South Australia has had a very successful recycling scheme since 1977. This scheme is called the Container Deposit Scheme, which allows people to collect 10 cents per container that is returned to an approved container recycling depot. The Container Deposit Scheme seems to be an easy way of keeping beverage containers out of landfill sites and being correctly recycled. However, beverage companies do not like this scheme as it holds them more responsible for the recycling of their containers. In fact, the Northern Territory Government has just won a court case against the two biggest beverage companies, Coca-Cola and Schweppes, to keep this scheme operating in their state. Unbeknown to myself and I'm sure many others, people living in South Australia and the Northern Territory actually pay extra for their beverages to allow for the 10-cent refund on containers. The beverage companies have to pay this refund, hence why they charge extra for initial purchase. Approved landfill sites are designed for disposal of rubbish, specifically rubbish that cannot be reused or recycled. However, the cost of dumping rubbish at recycling centres is becoming very expensive and quite a few people resort to dumping rubbish in illegal areas such as national parks, industrial or building sites and charity bins. Not only is dumping rubbish at approved sites expensive for the user, but also for the local government. The government needs to find suitable land, reinforce the land to avoid leaching, purchase the necessary equipment, fence the area to prevent any loose rubbish being blown away, and once the site is full, pay for the rehabilitation of the land and any aftercare that is required to bring this land back to its original state. Recycling programs are beneficial and the advantages of recycling seems to be endless. By adopting the 3 R's principles, this could help to keep our environment more economically complete. So many products are now able to be reused or recycled, therefore the 3 R's should be more achievable as an individual. Recycling is as easy as throwing items into the bin, and even though some people feel that it is not their job to implement the 3 R's into their household, it does affect them and their environment. A lot of people all over the world simply do not recycle due to the lack of knowledge on how and what to reduce, reuse and recycle. Based on the evidence provided in this investigation, the future of the Container Deposit Scheme seems to be in the hands of the beverage companies that are fighting against the scheme to continue. The beverage companies need to be held more accountable for the recycling of their containers, and if they are unhappy with the current schemes operating in South Australia and Northern Territory, they need to find a better solution for the correct disposal of their containers. Landfill sites are becoming less available. More recently, it has become evident that extending the use of an existing landfill site is easier than developing a new one, and communities are becoming more aware of the impacts a landfill site has on the environment, so they are beginning to be more vocal and petitioning against landfill sites in their areas. Remember the 3 R's when you are unsure of what can and cannot be recycled. Reduce the waste you make, reuse those items that you can, and recycle everything else possible. My advice for students taking this unit next year would be, ensure that weekly tasks are attempted as there is some very important information available in these tasks. Pick a topic that you are interested in, as you will be researching this topic for at least 8 weeks, and if the topic doesn't interest you, it will become very boring. Stay involved with the discussion board, especially your own journal group. This group is a vital part of this unit, and having constant contact with your peers becomes very helpful, especially coming up to assignment due dates. If you find yourself getting flustered or doubtful of certain aspects, don't be afraid to ask questions. Remember, the only stupid question is the one that you don't ask.